Wait a minute. Is this person ratted? Oh my gosh. No. Gosh. Are they like, is this a squad just trying together to rat it out? Now it feels like they're in cahoots together. Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of the Spectating series. If you love the Spectating series, please watch the whole video and leave a like. It helps knowing you want more of this type of content. If you are new, the rules are overlaid here as a friendly reminder. The format is simple. We work to understand the lobby, give tips, and once eliminated, we watch to the end of the round. There's lots of talking, discussion on strategy, and how to get better at Apex Legends. These are back-to-back raw rounds, and we get to actually see what's happening in rank. No flexing, just really seeing what's actually happening. Let's jump into the first round. The Spectating series, I'm gonna have to be very honest with you guys. I removed the, category in terms of which, rank you are specifically. Because I am finding that your rank, it's almost like you're just the whole rank all the way through. So let's say you're a silver player, you'll pretty much be silver all the way up until, quote-unquote, MMR-wise, up until you reach the higher ranks, maybe a platinum diamond. Then it just throws everyone, it seems like, into that giant pool, or I guess you could say small pool. Because you're noticing right away, this solo queuing is pretty brutal. There's a lot of sweats in here. This is pretty rough. And you pretty much need to always probably 3-stack. It doesn't seem like the solo queue experience is necessarily that forgiving at the moment. So as a series, just as a reminder, we're going to give as many tips and thoughts as humanly possible, then we'll spectate the rest of the lobby. Remember, whenever you drop, one thing I feel like people are forgetting is your loot pattern. Whether or not somebody follows your loot pattern or not, you'll drop in a spot and you'll completely follow a loot pattern. So right now I looted the outside bins, I'm gonna go all the way up and I'll hit this and I'll probably pretty much meet them in center. Then I get a whole lot of great guns, but I got enough to pretty much work with what I got here. Now the interesting thing is a lot of people are, ooh, team landed late on us? But I heard something. Yeah, they landed late.
Adjust your scopes. They're far.
Do not have a great gun. They're running away. Looks like they're out. A lot of people are trying to play it safe, aka why you see people running in very last minute. I'm going up.
Taking a new angle.
Hello, Rubnut. Hello, Governor. That's one. The Loba already left. I just don't think she cared about her teammate. Rough landing, unfortunately. Drop on my light.
Light ammo here.
Yeah, I'll hit that.
Recharging my shield.
Hitting beacons, hitting consoles are very important going to zone. I'm gonna get hit.
Honed in on our prey.
Maybe
They're
not.
marked on your map.
Okay, there's a solo running that way. Notice how a lot of people are pretty spread out. Especially in ranked, for the most part. I even find in the lower ranks, a lot of people play it pretty safe, and a lot of teams don't really die. Your goal is to get top 10. That's at least the breaking even spot, which is the best that you realistically need. Okay, that's where the solo went. Playing near your teammates best you can as humanly possible is always going to be the best goal that you can have. Notice how we're not in comms, but we're very, very much together still. It's very, very important. Okay, they're fighting. That's a landslide team. We can loot here for a second. I definitely would prefer to get different loadout, but I can definitely work with what we have here. How many times I'm going to say definitely? How many times I'm going to say very? I'm not quite sure. I also been changing my sensitivity and settings. Don't forget to change your settings, experiment around. Once you kind of lock yourself into something, it's not a bad thing to experiment. That'll help you out a lot in the long run, especially when you're working on mechanical stuff and feel like you hit a wall. There we go, that works. That's a good trade-off there. Alright, let's hit this again, see what's nearby. Let's take a look. Let's see how the lobby's playing out. 17 squads still remaining. Uh-oh. Somebody's near me. Yep, there they are.
Mark them on your map.
See if I can find them. Trying to listen for a second.
Echo's got an angle. Moving there.
I have no idea where they went. That's really unfortunate losing track of them. This was head on the right. And there was a team over there. I should have been paying a little more attention to what was around. Team over there. Pretty far though. Not really worried. Not too bad for a pickup group either. We had a pred pretty much with us. So not too bad. Patience is really key. Making sure that you're looting is... Whoa, what the?
Tagged him. Getting shot at.
Hopefully they can get the port over to them. I'll try to cover best I can.
This won't hurt. Hold on.
Tagged some prey.
Frag out.
Prey right here. Prey shield. Reloading.
I really should drop on that.
Shattered the prey's shield. Recharging shield.
I'm not getting shot. Oh, hello. I've done a lot of damage. I should have dropped down on that one guy. Unfortunately, I didn't.
Getting shot. Forming a barrier. Look out.
This guy's isolated up here.
Here.
I'm just gonna go for it.
Current angle sucks. Switching it up.
Ah, rip. It's worth the shot. The other two went up. I know my teammates weren't necessarily with me, but it was worth a shot to try to get them. It was a lot of damage. The other one ran away. I don't think I'm worth fighting for right here. It was a lot, like I said, a lot of damage. It was probably not going to pay out, but it was close. I think once it zipped up, I should have left. That's my bad. Let's see what my teammates do here. Now, it's good to take blame. Sometimes you can always get mad and blame your teammates. My teammates are good. Like, they know what they're doing. I knew what I was going was a little bit risky. But, I mean, imagine I got the knocks and I did a little bit more damage. It would have been really, really positive. They might be queued together. Who are they shooting at? Different team? They might be fighting somebody else. Still 13 squads remaining. Not too bad. At least we get spectate. Hopefully the next run goes better for us. I don't even remember how much damage we had at the end. Let's see how much... Man, I'm just sad we whiffed that extra shotgun shot. Oh no, there was the one on the right. That was good damage. Oh, good try, good try. It was really close. Yeah, we had a good amount of damage even before we went down. I should have just played it more patient. Even when I did the damage, I could have dropped down and probably killed one and then queued right back up as well. Been a little bit more mobile on my damage. That's a big mistake a lot of people make, and I'm clearly making it today, is the hesitation on pushes. I mean, there's a lot of damage, and so either you capitalize it or you run away. You've got to do one or the other. And the hesitation, even if it's 2 seconds, it could have been a play because my teammates could have watched for me. And then the play I decided to go on probably wasn't going to be the best or the most ideal. A lot of people are... What is going on here? I just realized. Wait a minute. Is this person ratting? Oh my gosh. Oh man. Really? Ratting? I get it. I mean, people are very desperate for LP. But come on. That's kind of crazy. That makes it really difficult. Comment down below if you've run into that. If you ran into teammates who are just flat out ratting. What do you do in this scenario? I heard a story where one individual pretty much started shooting in their location just to get them caught out. I mean, it definitely, in my opinion, that's very much griefing a game. You're not even going to try to play with your teammates. It's very unfortunate. At least give it a shot and try. I can understand if your teammate dies. Like, let's say I died the way I did. I think it's okay to leave me at that point. I made a play, and it didn't work out, right? And then if you make a play, there's no reason to get mad at your teammates. Because my teammates, yes, they could have been there, and they could have capitalized on damage just as much, but we're solo queuing. Right? It's a little bit difficult just to get people all on the same page and assuming that they're all going to play together. That's really difficult to do. I don't know if this Pathfinder's going to make it out. There's no way that they make it out, right? They were getting shot at and they're trying to go all the way around. I don't think that's doable. They did get 1 kill. They did say as well, and just in case you're not aware, that they have updated the bonus a bit. So if you're getting a bit more bonuses, they did change that a little while back. It's not dramatic, but it's enough to, I guess, say it makes a little bit of an impact. So I find that a little interesting. I don't think this Pathfinder makes it out. The zones aren't as bad, but I have misjudged many times before. So if you're getting eliminated due to zone, I mean, the heal times of the zone have changed, and that's also pretty important. Fighting right now, because a lot of teams are passive, is not a bad thing. Probably why we got run up on the way we did. The timing was just a little bit unfortunate. I mean, we should have saw it coming because people were going to rotate, right? There's always a good tip is to assume kind of the worst and where people are going to rotate to and where they're going to rotate from, right? Don't hesitate on your pushes. If you're not going to push, then go to zone. Try to be a little bit more extreme or with your decision making. I think that's probably a good tip I could make. Because if you have the full intention to push, then you're 100% going to push. And if you don't, well, I have no idea what this person's doing. They're probably going to get eliminated at this point. Just kind of standing out in the open. Revenant has so much survivability because of the ult. Even though they've adjusted it, Revenant is very annoying and difficult to fight against. I think the changes that they made are healthy. Oh, it looks like he's going to get cut out. That's the end for that Revenant rotating in. I'm pretty sure this is the end of the Revenant. Then we can spectate a different team. Because that Pathfinder, I mean, that Pathfinder is not making it out. Unless, I guess, no. Gosh, are they like, is this a squad just trying together to rat it out? Now it feels like they're in cahoots together. It doesn't make any sense. This person's got 208 crafting or 205 crafting. Like one of them does a tactic of ratting and one does a tactic of crafting outside his zone. That's got to be it. Just really strange. Very strange behavior. And they're top 10 and they break even. That's what drives me crazy about this. What are their they're both hiding their badges and stuff too. Is this like the new version of boosting? Is this like what people do for boosting or something? Is this how this works? Like they don't even fight anymore. They just constantly just survive as much as possible and don't even fight. Comment down below what you guys think. This is just what I don't even know what to think. This is so strange. This is very strange behavior. I can't even get tips about this. Like, yes, this can work. Sure, this is a method, but you're not improving. You're robbing yourself of the opportunity to get better aim, better positioning, you know, better team synergy, understand your legend more. It's a waste of time. I don't see the purpose of trying to get a badge when you could take this skill set. Let's say one day you decide I want to get better at a game, and then you wasted, you know, hundreds and hundreds of hours just not playing whatsoever. These skill sets that you learn over in Apex, they do transfer over. They will transfer over to other video games. I have found very much so that Apex Legends is a video game that has pushed me very much time and time again. I really think that these guys are playing, it has to be together in some way, shape, or form. It seems a little too calculated, and they're not getting mad at each other, which I have to make the assumption that. Now this next zone does hurt quite a bit, but I guarantee maybe they have a lot of heat shields or something. They're pretty used too. They're very good at knowing the timing as well. Do they know I'm watching? Do they have the ability to know that? He puts down, oh no. I know some cheats do have that, right? Well, meanwhile, the rest of the lobby's playing it out. This can be also part of the problem. This is probably a good tip right here. This is part of the problem that if teams, the good teams that you run into are the teams that are confident, ready to fight, and trying to play the game properly. There are probably maybe in a round, there could be maybe one or two teams that just aren't playing, and if they don't, then it gives the ability for other teams to kind of just do whatever they want, essentially. It's a factor to keep in mind, especially when zone's closing, and whether or not you're going to take a fight. I don't know how you fix this unless you make it to the point. My recommendation to fix this would, if a person stays outside a zone for an extended period of time, let's say, what's realistic, a minute and 30, after you spend that long outside a zone, you should, then again, they'll probably just teeter at the edge of it, going in and out and abuse it. So I don't really know how to fix it. Oh, weird. That doesn't make a whole lot of sense. I guess once you go to zone 4, you know that you're probably going to lose. So I guess that kind of makes sense. This other person is in zone in a really interesting spot. I guess I suck at when it comes to giving tips about where to rat and where to position yourself. I know a few spots. I mean, just by zone and memorizing, that's another great tip I can probably provide. Not to rat, but understanding what the zone and area looks like on the map before you get there. If you have like a good, you know, photographic memory, or even if you don't, just having a good mental image of where things are at on the map, what the location looks like, where you can hold, is very important. Usually when I'm rotating, I already know what the next area looks like. And the best thing to do is explore the map. Most people kind of rotate through the same areas over and over again. They forget when a zone pulls in a different spot, what's playable and what's not. And I think that causes people to be hesitant where to play. Because it can be all about your game sense and positioning, but if you don't have the knowledge of where the next zone is and what it looks like mentally before you get there, well, that's probably going to cause you to be very nervous and unsure where to play and get to that spot. That's where it can help you expedite some things and increase your rotational speed and positioning. Gosh, this has been an absolute nightmare. You guys have to comment. This is crazy. I don't know whether to be I'm disappointed. Yeah, just please eliminate that Revenant, please. Now, again, I will say this many times again. If my teammates left me because I made a mistake and I tried for something and it didn't work, I have no issue with my teammate ratting in that scenario. They did the best they could, and there's only maybe one team member alive, or maybe your duo, and then you have to go find your best positioning and your best play to continue to play the game, right? I have no issue with that. I think the problem is when we see stuff like this happen right off the rip, well, there goes and lies in the problem, right? Top 4. This person made it to top 4? That sucks. I don't like that. That makes me sad. It makes me disappointed. I mean, they clearly know what they're doing. Let's see what their aim is like. I'm kind of curious if they win this. Oh no. If they win this, that's no. Come on, no. Don't give it to them. The aim is not bad. Like, that's not bad. That's not awful. Oh my god, and they grief so hard at the end. There's no way they get that. It's not awful, right? I'm surprised of how much damage, and the recoil control wasn't, let's say, the worst, right? Not sure why they were popping a bat there. This team should win. It looks like they have this. Interesting. They got a knock, unless it was a finish. And they go to zone, they should win this. They have 3 reds. Looks like they've been running it down. Let's take a look at the damage, yeah. This gives teams now the ability to kind of run it down. I've been feeling this a bit more. Like, you can really just... Because if everybody else towards the end isn't... There we go. Somebody was outside of zone, probably. What is going on? Oh, my gosh. Whoa. Oh, man. I'm lost for words. I don't know what to think. Let's get into the next round. Maybe the next round, let's see if it happens the same way again. I don't know what to think. I'm gonna be very, very honest. I'm not really sure what to think. All right, that was a very long queue. I have to say that took probably about 5 to 7 minutes. That was a very long queue, unfortunately. So they're taking advantage. So this one, I'll play Watson. If you're curious who my mains are, they're very much, wow, we've got a lot of great teammates today. From 2 rounds, it's really interesting. Maybe solo queuing isn't that bad unless everyone is just solo queuing. I'm really surprised at the results I'm getting. I'm gonna be very honest. I would either land Lava Fissure personally or Launch Site, Tree, stuff that does have console or beacon. You don't always have to land in those spots. It depends on where you feel comfortable from rotation, where your team feels comfortable. Well, those can be definitely nice perks. Oh, we're landing hot. Okay. All right, let's do it. Anybody with us? We might have one team. All right, we got one team. I'm gonna go underneath. Interesting. All right, let's do this. Got some good guns. Something to work with, at least. There we go.
Friends. The dance is complete. Firing.
2. Oh wow, I got some good shots too. Got one of my teammates with me.
Hey, right here. Attack and prey. Shatter the prey's shield.
We just gotta hold them off best we can. 45, not bad. Wait for that to go away. Ooh.
Watch my back. I'm healing.
Just holding for him for now. Surprised they didn't push off that.
Recharging shield.
You're running away? We got some damage, but not a whole lot to really capitalize. All right, he's scaling up. I'm gonna move up too.
Topping up my shields.
You can kind of get a read on your teammates and how they're gonna play.
Praise shield. Prey over there.
Yeah, I'm gonna move up with this Revenant. I'm with it. Gotta catch up, gotta catch up, gotta catch up. Are they out? I can take the jump pad. See what he does. I'm gonna hold for a second though. He might be out. Let's just get out. I'm with it. Doesn't seem like they want to fight. Kind of a bit of a standstill, stalemate. It's good to kind of, based on when you're watching your teammates' movement, when they move forward and when they etch forward, it's a good indication if they want to push or if they want to fight. Try to pay attention to those indicators if you don't have a microphone or anything. If they feel like they're stalling and they're not moving, then they're kind of communicating to you already without using a microphone that they have no intention to fight. So all this stuff is very important. See where the beacon everyone goes to. South side of the map. We want to be launch site early.
Have a look, s'il vous plaît.
Our armors are not ideal. Theirs weren't really that great either. I think they're going to craft. I'm going to keep looting as much as I can and then go meet up with them. Yeah, I'm just going to loot real quick. I could craft, but I'm going to try to loot a little bit. Might find myself a blue. Might get lucky. Okay, so tips about loadout. Let's try to think about loadouts for a second, especially since end zones tend to burn through a lot of resources very quickly. It's good to have at least one weapon that is precision based, whether that is your close range or long range. So right now mine is the wingman. The other one, the reason why you don't want to run, let's say you have an R301 and a car SMG, or let's say you have a Volt and a, I don't know, R301, Nemesis, anything, right? You tend to burn through that ammo relatively quickly, and you don't want to burn through that ammo that quickly, because then you're not going to be able to shoot. So having at least a DMR, a sniper, 30-30, G7 scout, wingman, even if you use your close range, maybe it's a shotgun, that can be very, very helpful as well. Because then, you know, at end game, you'll still be able to at least dish out a bit of pressure without having to worry about your resources too much. Like, this is a lot of wingman ammo. This is more than enough to get me through quite a bit, especially if I'm poking at a distance. Now, if you don't feel comfortable, let's say, using a wingman at distance, well, then you'll just work on the shot. Let's say you're not comfortable using a G7 scout with all scopes, even irons, then go in the test range and practice, because you need to at least have that opening damage. You're not always just going to be able to spray for free. And if you do, let's say even you have 300 light, that does go very, very quickly. It's kind of why I usually stack that quite a bit. I barely have any cells, just realized. I would say if you're planning for endgame and you're planning to hold, having about 12 cells, for me, that's where I feel comfortable. Now, another tip as well, if you don't want to run that many, you can start dropping bats for the number of cells, or reduce the cells and run like a grenade or something. I do recommend running more grenades. I tend to make the mistake of not running enough grenades. So that's another little tip. Especially, it depends on your playstyle too. I tend to be a little bit more range focused. I feel a lot more comfortable at range. So kind of decipher whether or not you feel comfortable with that, and then adjust your loadout. Just don't run more than, let's say, 4 syringes. The reason why you really shouldn't intend to play zone. You know, having 1 med kit isn't necessarily bad, or 2. Almost there. Flank on the right. Oh, hello. Another squad. That's unfortunate. Yep, coming.
Setting a fence.
Target here.
The inside? Yeah, let's go. I'm down. So this is like another good indicator of communication, guys. You'll notice right away, we heard another team. We gotta hold for our teammate. Oh, he's in it. That's unfortunate. Okay, the Vantage is leaving. I kind of assumed we were moving based on the Vantage. I didn't realize that he got caught out. You have to make a choice, and this is the unfortunate part when you're playing with solos, is like you gotta choose between mommy and daddy, and that really sucks. And that's one of those situations. The Vantage was confused why you ran. I would have stayed. That's my bad. I went with Advantage because she said she wanted to leave. She pinged away, and I was like, okay, I guess we're rotating. Oh, I'm down to kill everything. I just saw the Vantage move, and I was like, I guess we're leaving. I don't know, because I'm solo queued. I don't know if you guys are queued together or not.
Step down and pray.
Broke the enemy shield. A few more meters to the ring, and still a minute to go.
Landing some good shots. So she's going back for the banner. Let's see what the Vantage is saying.
They will come to us and we'll still kill them.
Ring
But we don't have to
nearby
kill them
and
with like
close
6 people
45.
on our cheeks.
Why wait? Let's go.
Is this G-Dolphin? I wonder if this is G-Dolphin.
Salvaged our teammate's banner. Taking fire. Opening fire on
Oh, shoot.
Shield is broken.
I'm dead. Leave me, leave me. I could try.
Yeah, like there are 2 teams there. I don't know about that. Did you?
I wonder if that was G-Dolphin. That could have been. Maybe, I don't know. It sounded like him. I didn't have the microphone on. The reason I don't all the time, guys, because you never know what people are going to say, and I highly encourage if you get discouraged by people kind of talking, you can kind of read their language, right? I was very much right that the Vantage wanted to get out. But there was 2 teams, and we did get the notification, so I understood what the play was in that scenario, which is why I rotated out, right? Now, if I didn't leave with the Vantage, and the Vantage left, we would be having a separate conversation together saying, why didn't you guys rotate? I pinged to leave. And it's like, that's a very good point. I 100% agree. That would have been the fault of us for not listening to the ping. So, I mean, the Revenant is also clearly a good player, you know, based on, like, let's say the stats, right? They had, I think they had a pred badge, right? I remember at the start. I'm pretty sure they were pred. So this is where the desync and communication happens, right? I read that they wanted to leave, and when I turned on the microphone, very much sure, yes, that's what they wanted to do. They wanted to rotate out. And the Revenant wanted to stay and fight everything. It was a 2v3, but there was another team nearby. There's not a right or wrong answer there. But the wrong answer is when you don't play together. And unfortunately, when you're solo, you have to make the decision, who do I pick? And sometimes who you pick isn't always the most comfortable. Realistically, I probably shouldn't have pushed him with the Vantage. I wanted to at least buy the Vantage some time. But if I just got out, then probably would have been better. But at least we get to spectate. I kind of look at that as a plus end. Did a good amount of damage, but yeah, as a Watson, I probably shouldn't have gone in anyways and gone for the banner. This team's getting caught outside of zone. Looks like Fuse is going to go down. But synergy can be really hard to kind of figure out early on together. And don't get discouraged if you can't figure it out, because it's very clear that we were 3 sets of players that were playing well together and understood, and then there's a miscommunication, right? Are we going to stay and fight, or are we going to rotate? I'm very much fine with fighting. I'm very much fine with rotating. I think both are very fine options. I don't have an issue with it. I just have to choose one or the other if one person's leaving and making a decision. Usually your shot caller in IGL, this is another fantastic tip, is also the person who's making the decisions to move the fastest or move into a fight the fastest. You may notice that your IGL may change if somebody just keeps running away from fights, and that's your kind of your IGL. They're leaving. They're making a team decision even without you communicating or talking to them. Or if a Wraith, let's say the most stereotypical Wraith goes in and fights, then that's kind of your IGL because they're running and fighting everything. Now, if you have 2 people trying to make informed decisions and do something and force the other one to listen, I mean, at some point you have to be the one that says, okay, I'll listen to you, you know, or I'll do that, X, Y, and Z. And that can kind of be kind of annoying. It's frustrating, and that's just a bit of luck. There's nothing to be upset about, because maybe the next teammate you have, it'll clean it up. No big deal, right? And sometimes it just doesn't work. This was a very good spectating series to kind of see that. These were very much real-time, back-to-back. Only played 2 games, and we got 2 good groups of teammates, but it still didn't work out, regardless of having good teammates. And most people, I feel like, always get upset and start saying insane stuff over the microphone. Oh, fake pred, not real good player. I'm like, people make mistakes. They're not perfect in any way, shape, or form. And you could always say on the other end, well, maybe if you did more damage, or maybe if you covered me better, or maybe if we communicated better. There's a lot of what-ifs. And you can get hung up on those what-ifs. This team is trying to rotate and get into zone. There's a good amount of damage there. Caustic's caught out rotating. Bloodhound's doing great coverage for the Caustic here, which is good. That's another good example of at least covering for your teammates while they're rotating. Notice how they didn't scale up, so the communication style here is very much, I don't want to fight. We're trying to get into zone, which is, you know, very fair. There's nothing wrong with it. And they're trying to hold here. When you're playing with solos, that's kind of the communication style that does happen. One pushes in, pretty much saying we got to fight this. Doesn't have their angle, they back up. Let them just pretty much die to zone. Oh my gosh, they weren't able to track that. That's insane. Oh, they got him. Very nice. Now, they could move up on this. Their other player moved up. And again, there's the miscommunication, right? It looks very much like they want to fight this and go in on it, but then they didn't, right? They didn't push through, even though a knock happened. One would say, well, I saw you get the knock. Why didn't you push? That's pretty much what the other person would say. Regardless if you're in comms or communication or not, these mistakes will happen. Because that's what it reads. When you see a knock happen and you see that damage, you might as well go for it, even if you're low. Because clearing your backs like this is really strong. Now that they clear their backs, all they're seeing are the rats come in. And this is a really common trend now, because people will rat outside of zone. Once you kind of get to this spot and you clear your backs, you're pretty much in a really strong position to win the game at this point. Now, they'll have an uphill batter rotating in, and they got 40 seconds to do it. If they stay here probably a little too long, if they stay here until, let's say, 30 seconds, then they're pretty much going to get gated, which I think they're going to do, unfortunately. I'd be very lucky if they don't get caught out. Let's find out if they get caught out. This is a rough situation. They have to pretty much either push to the left. The right side doesn't have as much space, but the left side does, and they will get peppered from the top. And this was the other tip. Remember, you kind of have to know the zone. You see how there's a little play area down there? They don't want to drop right here, and this is a little bit too tight of a space because they'll get grenaded out. And if they go to the right, there's less possibility. I mean, I'm actually kind of surprised they're just having this a free. What is this? What I'm going to blame is honestly a lot of people just ratting, and the wrong kind of ratting. Not because their teammates died, just ratting because they want to rat. Now they have the ability to occupy space. I really believe if you can break into the top 10... Wow, there's another rat down there, speaking of which. A lot of Pathfinder rats. Wow, seems to be a recurring theme of Pathfinder rats. And now they have top 4. If you can get through this benchmark, and this is why I agree with the Vantage at this point. If you get through the red tape, right, and you go to zone at that point when there's multiple squads, you can hover outside of the general area and kind of get a read, but you need information. Information is very, very important whether you're fighting, you know? If you don't have the information, fighting can be a little difficult, and it can be annoying. Now I'm really curious if that was G-Dolphin. I'm about to go to his stream and find out. He's the only other Vantage that I personally know that it's like super cracked and insane. There's plenty of Vantages out there, but that's just who I know. Shout out to G-Dolphin. I think his content's great. He's also a coach, streams on his Twitch. He's probably not expecting me to call him out, but I mean, I think the dude's very genuine. I like his content a lot. I think he's great. I'm more than happy to always call out people when I see, you know, really good content. And there's a lot of people that make great content. Let's put that out there. This team is in a pretty strong position to... it's a little hard because there's probably the 2 other teams that are ratting, and they pretty much have to deal with this team in front of them. They get a crack, they can move over to the left side, but I did see shots over on the left side, so they have an uphill battle. And they have to do it pretty quick. You don't ever want the zone to kind of do the work for you. You'd rather work your way in. I've been seeing a lot of Vantages. What's going on? I know the pick rate for Vantage is pretty low. There's no way that everyone is just deciding Vantage is a good legend all of a sudden. I mean, she's really strong, but I don't see her pick rate being astronomical. Is that a full team on the left? I can't really tell. These 2 teams may have to run into each other. It's really hard to coexist to the bottom part here. They could exist on this spot right here, underneath, but then they're on low ground, and they have no verticality in terms of legends. They have Fuse, Bloodhound, and Caustic, which means that they should try to fight for a space that has high ground. If you're a team that has no verticality or no mobility, you kind of need to fight for a spot that is ideal, which is why when you're those control legends, you want to go to zone and really hunker down if you have nothing that's going to segue you that way. Like a Horizon is a great example, and why Horizon will always be meta. It gets the team all to a spot together, and it does it simultaneously, and it does it with at least not the largest audio queue. There's the other rat. I'm surprised they're letting him breathe right here with all this space. If they move up, that's insane. Okay, they're not letting him. I was about to say. Now, if they throw a scan, I heard Caustic getting his ult. Utility is very important for pushing. The Caustic ult could put a lot of pressure there. Putting pressure back. They might be dead here. This might be it. Unless they just shove. They're going to have to shove. They got shot in the far right, too. This is that unfortunate scenario where they're not getting picked on whatsoever, and they don't get much room to breathe. Now, the other team could third party them. That's going to be a good nade. Oh, gosh. Oh, wow. That didn't hit him. That's insane. This was a lot better of a round, at least seeing in terms of tips and everything. The first round, still interesting to see, but I think it kind of paints a picture of what we're seeing with people ratting and what people are doing. Good use of armor swaps here, just in case you get into a fight. Very smart. Putting armors on the ground so you can pick them up for a quick heal. Another great tip that you're seeing right there. This person's kind of going by themselves, but does have really good aim, so it does back it up. Now, there are rules to the engagement, I think, that you can have. You can break rules and can do certain things when you have good aim and you're confident in the scenario that you're going to land your shots. But if you don't, then you can't necessarily break those rules. Rules can be broken only whenever you do damage or you know you can ego. And sometimes egoing, I guess like we're seeing there, is not always going to be ideal. At that point, the Bloodhound kind of overextended. They could still win this. They got a nice little hedge glitch here in terms of positioning. This is still... Oh, close. That was pretty close still. That wasn't bad. Guys, let me know what you guys think of this episode of the Spectating series. I kind of want to do another one next week now and see how things are shaping up as we're getting towards the end of the season. I'm seeing some really interesting things. I'm seeing some really great players, and I'm seeing some players that do... I don't want to call it griefing. It's just some interesting stuff that's happening. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching. Again, don't forget to leave a like, comment, subscribe for more Spectating series episodes. Playlist down in the description down below, and I'll see you guys all in the next one. Bye everybody!